Is there game audio? If it is, then we are good to go. We are in episode 4, Turnabout Succession Trial, Day 1, the trial resumes part. For some reason, we didn't even pass the trial day. Can hear some. Thank you, Bob. Thank you for making sure. Most commonly used with jewelry, but also with bags. Bags, clothing, sometimes belts. Ah, you're also a bit of a yapper. That's alright. I mostly have lurkers here, and we have couple people who like to chat too. I'm sorry if I do miss some stuff while I play, especially these types of games where I need to concentrate and read. English is not my first language, so gotta actually focus when I read. Although, to be fair, even if I was reading my own language, I would still have to focus and actually read, because I will misspell shite, like, while reading. It's weird. It's weird. It happens. Sounds, yes, nice. It's alright. Okay. Oh my goodness. Right. We are a bit of a weird situation. We are still continuing the trial, and we don't have any new evidence? I don't think so, other than the autopsy report, right? I mean, at the very least, I don't think we got anything new. The newest info that we did get was that Vera Misham is actually the real Drew Misham, and like the real artiste in the studio. So I'm a bit confused about Drew here. Like, he might have been her like grandpa still, but like she was the true artist behind. She was the one who was doing all these fakes, basically. Which is like, okay, but what does that really, at the end of the day, change? Yeah, still no closer to figuring out who murdered Drew Misham, or this guy. We still only have like these 3 people were in there, and what we found out last time was that Drew sent a yellow letter in this letterbox away just when the reporter showed up, and he used a post stamp that contained poison. And the post stamp was the original location was this little frame, and he used that stamp to mail that letter, and henceforth he got poisoning from that. And we have the evidence here that he still had some of the poison residue on his own lips when he took a sip of the coffee. And the poisoned stamp was inside this red envelope originally, and this envelope was like 7 years old. So yeah, the murder was planned, definitely was planned, but was the target actually Vera, or was it someone else? Because we need to take a consideration that letter was 7 years old. So Vera would have been 12? 12 at a time? Who wants to murder a 12-year-old? I have a feeling that whoever was the target was not supposed to be either Vera or Drew. Or I don't know, maybe Drew was the target, but whoever wanted to murder them probably wanted to target the actual artist, but they didn't know that the actual artist was Vera. I'm a bit I'm a little bit confused about this whole deal. It feels like yes, we had a murderer case in the hand, but who was the target actually? That's the part that I'm a bit confused. So hopefully we'll find out about that today. Alrighty then. October 8, 1:24 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 6. Yeah, that is not a 3. Come on. Okay. So where exactly does this leave us, Apollo? Well, the Drew Misham who was killed wasn't Drew Misham, the forger, basically. Huh? Well then, who was he? Well, he was actually... Oh, hi Vera. You wanna confirm, was that guy your grandpa or just some old dude you hang out with? Doing her nails. Huh. So you really made those forgeries? Yes. For father. Okay. I know it was wrong. Could you tell us how it happened? My father was a painter. I loved painting ever since I was a child. One day, father saw it in me. He saw that I had the talent. The talent? For making forgeries? Or art, probably, but yeah. How should I say it? It was not only paintings I made. Given the materials, I could make anything. Anything? You were good with your hands. Got it, Vera. Kinda sucks that she probably was raised to use her talent a bit shitty, though. Father was so proud, and I so happy. But in the end, I was making those forgeries. I've never had a good constitution nor personality. I know very little of the world outside my door. Now because of me, father is... Do you know about this red envelope? I remember that envelope. It was some time ago. So you were already, you were already creating your works back then? I started when I was only 12 years old. So 7 years ago. So the one who figured out the stamp was poison, that was... Mr. Justice, it's time. To the courtroom, please. Bailiff, can you go shove yourself into a hole for a second? We were just getting a freaking answer. Ugh. I hate when this happens. I hate when they do that. Right. Out of time. Wait, where? Just one more thing, please. Those 3 paintings in the studio? I painted those as a part of my work. Right, see, we checked them out and we saw what was underneath. We saw the rough sketches underneath the 3 finished paintings. I see. Mr. Justice. Yes? Father, he knew of you. Of both of you. Your late father? He was watching, gathering information. All about Wright and CEO law offices. But lately we're not doing just law. Yes, you do tricks, gags to amuse and play piano. Well, they're not really gags. Yet, when father heard you had resumed the legal business, how pleased he was. Huh? Who was Mr. Misham? How am I supposed to know? Yeah, do not ask Apollo. I don't think he would know. What if he was Daddy's daddy? Huh? I don't think so, buddy. Judging from the relative ages involved, I'd say it's highly unlikely. Things are already confusing enough with all these daddies around. We know that the victim's daughter, Vera, was the forger. What does this mean for the case? We're about to find out. That's the thing, I'm like... What does this actually change? In terms of like... She's still being accused of murder. We still haven't cleared her fully. Back to the courtroom. Court is now back in session. Vera seems pretty intense. She's practically chewing her fingernail clean off. Perhaps you could begin by telling us how it all worked. How did you set up this True Misham forger persona? I don't have a feeling she didn't really do that. I feel like she was just... I kinda hate to say this, but I feel like she was just a tool of means. There's the stare again. She's drilling more holes into Maya's head. I know it's hard for you, but hey, he's a handsome guy. What's hard? Very well, miss, if you would. Did you really make those detestable forgeries? Ay. How do we talk to this introvert times 100? Perhaps you'd rather answer my question. Were you the one who painted the paintings? The remarkable similar one? Yes. I painted it, yes. Father praised me quite highly for it. So she was the one who made the forgeries. Yet she did not wish to reveal the truth of their operation. So the victim was a stand-in, a decoy. To the world at large, he was the forger, not her. I've done a bad thing. I have, haven't I? Regardless, we need a little more information. About, for instance, this. You have seen this before, yeah? Yes, it was in the desk drawer. Very well, you may proceed with your testimony. Tell us everything you know about this envelope. The red envelope. I created things and father sold them. This envelope came after my first work. That was other than a painting. Father handled the deal, all of it. I received the stamp that was in the envelope. It was after that job that we moved to the current studio. There certainly was much of great interest in your testimony. Not that the witness realizes. Very well, please begin the cross-examination. Right, okay. I need more information about this forger. This Drew Misham. Why'd he say it like that? She's right there. Oh, well. Start poking. So these things you were making, you mean paintings identical to other paintings, right? The closer they were, the happier father was. I was happy, too. Still, you're quite young now. When did you begin this work? My first painting sold when I was 12. Your Honor, she had no idea what she was doing was illegal. True. Very much probably true. But it doesn't change the fact that Bill did it, so... Easy there, little attorney. You're not here to defend her for the crime of forgery. True. Please tell us more about this envelope. This envelope that may very well have killed your father. All right. Other than a painting, huh? By other than a painting, you mean you'd only done paintings up to that point? Yes. But father had a realization. He noticed my talent extended to making things other than paintings. For instance? For instance, a letter someone had written, or fingerprints left upon a cup, or signatures on a document, a seal upon a letter. Oh dear. None of this makes her sound very innocent at all. But yeah, basically what I'm seeing here was this poor girl was very much used as a tool. And the 100,000 promised in this letter was the start. The beginning of new industry for Drew Misham. New industry. The creation of the items to be used in a criminal proceedings. Forged evidence, in other words. Uh-huh. So you didn't know who the things you were making were being used? She just said that they were all handled by her father, so yeah, probably didn't. I enjoy painting very much. I think I understand. The Fräulein has lived in an unusual little world. Can you tell us what happened to the papers that were in this envelope? Father signed them and sent them back, I believe. Did he follow the instructions? Send in an enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp? This is rather important matter. Give your answer some thought. What do you mean you received it? Did I do something wrong? You didn't use the stamp because it was dangerous, correct? Deadly poison on the back? Artequinine? Objection! A moment, her forehead. You can't force an answer upon the witness. Now then, perhaps you could tell me, Fräulein Vera, why did you receive the stamp? Something wrong? It was beautiful. Oh. You guys think that when she saw it, she was like, oh, it looks pretty. And she didn't want to use that, so maybe she forged like a new stamp that looked exactly like that stamp that was originally we were supposed to use. So she just, you know, made a second one and used that instead and wanted to keep the original one because it was so pretty. Obviously not knowing that it was poison in it or something. I don't fucking know. I'm trying to like think this through, really believing that she's innocent. If she's truly innocent and being raised in a very closed environment, then... And she seems to really lean on to the whole... She loves painting, she loves drawing, she loves making and crafting, because that all made her father really happy. Ergo, it made her happy. So... I'm trying to like think it this way. Oh, you mean it was one of those commemorative stamps? Yes, I think it was. So you didn't know about the poison? I don't think she did, but if she had, I mean, she'd be dead, right? When you think about it, like, if she had touched that stamp, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't freaking know. I mean, she had to move it from there, but like, don't you use like pincers to move stamps? So you don't damage them? Guess not. So the trap failed by chance, by mistake. Thanks to this commemorative stamp. Quite a close call. You mean you moved to where the current Drew studio is? Yes, we saw very few people there. I began drawing picture books. The single job had tied them to the criminal underworld. I think Mr. Misham wished to reduce their visibility in the world at large. When we had to meet someone for some reason, Father posed as the creator of the work. So that was the real essence of the artist through Misham. He did the work and you did the work and he supplied the face. So you really didn't know anything, did you? You had no idea how much danger you were in. Apparently not. About this commemorative stamp, would you tell us more about it? It was very pretty, and more than that. Yes? It was a picture of people I liked at the time. Eh? This is something new. Oh, guitar solo. Nice. Apparently, we've got some Crocs examination yet ahead of us. If you could be so kind as to continue your testimony, Fräulein. Yeah. The happy face. And there's the connection to the freaking magicians. Ah, didn't think it would come in the... Didn't think it would come in this kind of scenario, but okay. Magicians? I love mysterious things. I always have. Even though she fainted when she saw Mr. Hat? You're confusing mysterious to freaky. Father took me when I was very young. It was a great magic show. I loved it so much. See? See? Isn't magic great? Fine, great. Yeah, sure. No need to get all excited. But the magic troupe we saw disbanded soon after. I was quite sad. Come on, Apollo, put two and two together. Did she just say what I think she said? Magic trope? Now where have I heard that before? Apollo, I will smack you behind your head if you need like another 2 hours to figure out what magic trope she could possibly be talking about. Okay? Okay? You better figure that shit out without my help. Okay? Okay. Glad we had this talk. The red envelope came after she'd complete her first job. That makes it a letter from her client, whoever wants the forgery made. Oh, hello, Ozzy. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good Monday. Objection! Why is there a stream and I'm not here? Objection back, you're here. Heh, overruled. Outrageous. Hello, good to see you here. And you're pretty much in time. We literally are just started and we're questioning Vera over here about a little bit more information. And we just learned that the stamp was a commemorative stamp, and yeah, Vera did not know that stamp had poison in it or anything. She was freaking 12 at a time when they got this letter and all that. And this girl really was raised in a pretty particular environment, considering that she didn't really get to go outside and, well, yeah, a lot of stuff. For instance, she didn't, for the longest of time, that I think right now she's starting to figure out that, oh, the job she did was wrong. Like, forgery is wrong. Basically, that's just something she's always done. So, you know, she's unfortunately learning that now, but oh well. Luckily, we're not here to poke her about the forgery. We're here to poke her about any information we can get, basically, right now. Apollo? We're close. You just have to piece together the parts. A deadly weapon in a red envelope. And the path it took to take Drew Mission's life. Started again, my bad. So... Objection! I'm guessing it's the last one then. The last one here. Picks her a favorite magician, so I kept it. This is where we need to present, and I wonder if I suppose the closest thing to show what magic it could be this ticket, maybe? No? Time to test that out, but before I do that, I'll save it here. So if I fail, then I can just go back to this. Objection! Haha, it was the ticket. Figured it couldn't be the letter yet. Those magicians you liked. Was it, this bunch? Ho. Apollo! They're not a bunch. Yes, we know. Lucy, calm down. I see, yes. Still, I have to wonder. Why include a commemorative stamp like that in the business letter? Good question. Well, pretty stamps are always better, and you can't beat a trope grammar, eh? But the whole murder plan was a failure because of it. Ironic, don't you think, Prosecutor Gavin? Why is he sweating bullets? Guys? What does Clavier know that we don't? Man, we are such in a bad corner in this case, because we do not know what happened to, you know, Phoenix Wright 7 years ago that made him quit of being an ace attorney. We are definitely picking up back that case right now. This is definitely it. Has to be. Prosecutor Gavin? Grammar? What's with Gavin? Might I ask just one question of this witness? Is it a really bad thing, Clavier? Why are you sweating bullets? You're making me nervous here, buddy. In your testimony just now, you stated this was your first work that was other than a painting. Oh, please tell me, what exactly did you make? Can I ask what? No, answer the question now. Don't do that, Clavier. Come on, you know she can't handle that kind of... I can't believe I'm about to say this. Let Apollo ask. Oh, Prosecutor Gavin, you're usually not the one whose volume concerns me. Yes, it is unbecoming of me, I apologize. But I must know. Please, Miss Misham, tell me. It was a book. Single page. In a book? A book? Please be more specific. It was a handwritten book. Like a diary? Uh-oh, he knows something. Oh, I don't know. What's wrong, Clavy? Boy. Don't take your hatred on her, though. What's going on, buddy? Wanna tell us? What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks like he's just saw a ghost. Miss Misham, this book. Was there a picture of a silk hat on the back cover? Yes or no? How did you know? Objection! Hey, can we get included into this somehow? Prosecutor Gavin, the defense is answering the defendant is answering all of your questions. Stop badgering her. He's told you nothing, has he? Your sword's solid mentor. Nothing. I mean, yeah, he hasn't. Solid? Who? Solid who? Phoenix Wright, who else? Daddy? He never told you about the trial 7 years ago. About how he came to lose his attorney badge. No, he has not. Yeah, you are correct. Bastard hasn't told us anything. It was a certain piece of evidence that decided his fate, you know. Oh, great. Don't tell me it's the goddamn book. A certain diary. On the back, it bore the mark of a silk hat. What? Phoenix Wright tossed out of a profession by false evidence. And the forger who made that evidence... Is this girl standing right in front of me? We are not gonna start blaming... Oh my fucking god, get your asses out of here. Calm down, guys. She was freaking 12 when she did that. And they were pretty much evil adults who basically probably were just telling her to do stuff, and she did not know she was doing a wrong thing. So I'm not blaming Vera in this case. Vera, you must tell us. The evidence you made, was it used in a trial 7 years ago? How could she know this? Would she even know this? If her father was the one who handled all the other stuff, she was just the one who made them. Who asked Drew Misham you to forge that evidence? For all of our sakes, who was it? That's the thing. I don't think she knows. Either she knows or she doesn't know. We only met once. You met the client? Well, who was it? It was... Oh. Wait, is that why she's been glaring at Clavier? Was it Clavier's brother? Older brother? Who's now in prison? What's wrong with Vera? She's staring at Prosecutor Gavin's face again. Yes, what? Is there something about me? I remember clearly. I remember who gave me the book. The diary. Who was it? Vera? Huh? The devil. Huh? What did she fail? Hey! Oi, what's going on? Voi vit... Sanonko mikä? It was the nail polish, wasn't it? She was painting her nails right before we went to the trial. She was about to tell us, and by a quinky-dinky bullshittery, she just happens to fucking pass out, unconscious and poisoned. Man, I hope she doesn't die. Either we get lucky and she doesn't die, or we get extremely unlucky and she fucking dies, and then we pretty much have failed, I suppose. Oh, shit. Defendant Vera Misham, condition unconscious. Examiner's diagnosis acute astroquinine poisoning. This ends the recording of the trial of the murder of Drew Misham. Vera Misham was during the trial, poisoned by an unknown assailant. The dosage was just under the lethal amount, sparing defendant's life. Great, so she's not dead. She's currently in intensive care and is not to be disturbed for any reason. A very simple case, at a first glance, until it finally began to show its true colors. The long road to truth takes us to the record of another trial. In some ways, that was the starting point of it all. And that is where we must go. Oh great, now we're actually going into the past. Oh my god, she's adorable. Look, a little tushy. Oh, that's cute. To find the whole truth. To be continue. So we must do a trial within a trial to figure out the trial case. In all fullness. Okay. Trial 7 years ago. Oh, goody, doody, goody, goody. Yes, we'd like to continue. Showdown time. I lost. It's only a game of poker. A game I've played for a long time. I've only lost twice. Who was the first? The man I killed, of course. Well, it seems I've found the partner I've been looking for all along. Over a game of cards? Oh yes, over a game of cards. Uh-huh, so we're playing Phoenix now. 7 years earlier, Phoenix Wright's final trial. Hello, Tooth. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good Monday. I didn't get to read that. Oh yes, over a game of cards. That was how we first met 7 years ago. Okay. Alright guys, strap in. We're back being Phoenix for a bit. Before he became the guy he is today. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hey, well at least I get to rest my voice because originally for Phoenix I just gave my own voice, so... Yippee! April 19th, 9:27 a.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 2. Phew, okay, it's been a long time since I felt like such a rookie. Got to try and relax. What does our court look like? Oh! Attorney badge. Yikes. Crime scene photo, body found in a hospital room, shot in the head. Okay. Yikes, that looks nasty. An old dude. Shot to the head. Also, going on here, a gun. I assume this is the diary. With the missing page and all that. McNiffy's autopsy report. Cause of death, single shot to the head. Estimated time 11:00 plus 11:30 p.m. Loss of blood from bullet wound. Note malignant tumor found in a victim's liver. Yikes. Tumor patient. And I'm assuming Shadi. Hold on. Shadi Enigmar, the client in this case, usually goes by his stage name Zach Gramare. Okay. And Magnifi Gramare, the victim in the case, dead after being shot in the head while in the hospital. Shadi's 40. Magnifi 67. Okay. So is Shadi the one we are defending in this case? Perhaps? Is is he the one being accused of murdering him, or... I guess, well, I don't know. It doesn't say. We'll have to see. Not to try and relax. Ah, good morning, Mr. Enigma. I am sorry to have sprung this on you so suddenly. I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure I'm prepared. I understand I'm asking the impossible of you. Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. All we did was play cards. And that was enough. Actually, it wasn't. Trust me. Look at that little girl.
Oh, morning, Daddy.
I'm so glad you came.
Are you okay, Daddy? They picking on you?
I'm fine, as always. This old boy is here to help me, after all. That young man to you, but whatever.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. That's a cute outfit you have there.
Thanks. It's my first show today, after all.
My first show, wow. Oh, I'm sure it is. What the heck is she talking about?
Old boy?
Huh? Neat? Okay, started.
Here.
Seems fate's clock will make me wait a little longer. At least only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported me in my life's work, I've given thanks. Farewell. Oh no, is this the forged page? No. That's so messed up. They gave the forged page to the freaking little girl, and she's the one who gives it to Phoenix. So of course he's gonna believe it's... I suck. What's this?
I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. They said it was really important.
What's this? A memo for you or some guts? Not from the looks of it. What is it? What is this? Looks like a page from someone's diary. I'll give it a read later. That paper is gonna cost Phoenix his career. Great. Well, how do you feel about the trial today? We'll get through it somehow. Incidentally, the prosecutor today is a new guy here. Ah, an easy win then, yes? They're calling him a true thoroughbred in the history of prosecutor's office. Of course, there's one of those every year. The switching of attorneys just before the trial. I know it's a difficult situation I put you in. But allow me to say one thing, Mr. Wright. Yes? They will not be able to pronounce me guilty today. So do your best, but do not worry. First time a defendant's ever given me a prep speech. I'll do what I can. I see you do not understand. You see, it will be impossible for them to declare a verdict. Impossible? Yes. Isn't that right, Trucy?
Yep, you bet, Daddy.
My first look at the case was only yesterday, and the information I was given was a tad bit lacking, to be honest. Still, I'll do what I can, for their sake.
Hello, doggy. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good Monday, or at the very least a decent one.
You came just in good time. We are still in the same case, but now we're taking like a trip to the past, and we are doing the case that got Phoenix basically quitting of being an ace attorney. So we're playing as Phoenix. Henceforth, the familiar songs here, background music and all that.
And hey, that's Trucy's dad. Enigmor.
Or what was his full name? Shadi Enigmar, aka Zach Gramaray.
But now we have Trucy, who's still 8 years old here.
I believe the curtains will be lifted any time now. I'm in your capable hands, Mr. Wright. Oh boy. My client is Shadi Enigmar. From the world as... known to the world as Zach Gramaray. A widely popular magician starred of trope Gramaray. His mentor, Magnific Gramaray, was a rare breed of magician. He single-handedly ushered in a golden age of stage magic, until he was shot dead. And Zach Gramaray is the suspect. Okay. That I kind of put two and two together that he was the one we were defending. April 19th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. Court is now in session for the trial of Shadi Enigma. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
And that's our young clavier, I assume.
Was this his first case or something? Because Phoenix didn't know who he was. Is the prosecution ready? I was just thinking, is this, what all the fuss is about? Bit of a buzzkill, really. Buzzkill? Is this some new kind of crime? One of the worst. This is a trial, yeah? Where's all the sweaty palms, the pounding hearts? A Gaviner's concert got 10 times the thrill this gig's got. Who were you again? Clavier Gavin. I came to get a party started. Legally, huh? Gavin, the first attorney Christoph Gavin's, figures my bro's more famous in this part of town. Clavier Gavin. Lead singer of the mega hit band, the Gaviners? You're out of my league, rock boy. I know what you're thinking. You're out of your league, rock boy. True, my debut single, 13 Years Hard Time for Love, went platinum overnight. But that's just a hobby to me compared to this, yeah? Talkative, aren't you? I like your affected, Euro-rock accent, by the way. I'm just getting warmed up, Attorney, right? Perhaps you would be so kind as to fill us in on the case. Then, baby, time to call on the opening act. What was his name again? Yes, Detective Gumshoe. Hit it. Hey, Gumshoe's in there. Hi, buddy. And you are? Hey, we're the one who called upon me here, sir. Name's Dick Gumshoe. I'm a homicide detective down at the precinct. Detective Gumshoe, long time no see. Hey, you! Huh? Me? Today's the day, pal. Yeah, I win and you lose. I got confidence in my testimony today, see? But you normally lack confidence in your testimony. Hi, detective. This is my stage, candy antics. all this hey youing and such, and I could care less about your history together. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, if you would. Please tell us about the case at hand. It happened 6 days back in the room at the General Hospital. The facts are as simple as they come. Here's the crime scene. The victim was a patient, asleep in a hospital bed. The killer comes in, puts a pistol on his forehead, and BAM! Lights out. Them's the facts. Where's all the... I'm gonna sound a little bit gruesome here, but where the hell is all the blood? You know? Blood and gore? Where? Why is the pillow all intact? And all that? You know? Huh? Nani? Not so long ago, the victim, Magnifique Grammare, was a famous man. He had an entire country under his magical spell, as it were. Ah yes, the great magician. He retired years ago, though. Say the name Magnifi to one of my generations and you'd be lucky to get a blank stare. Ah yes, though I'm sure the youngsters today know his disciplines even better. I dare say true Grammare has made quite a name for themselves. Anyhow, the retired Magnifi's been in the hospital for the last year. What was it? A malignant tumor or something. Something to his liver, I think. Yeah. Malignant tumor, perhaps? In other words, he had a liver cancer. He had only 3 months left to live in fact. Okay. In 3 months. Or estimated 3 months, most likely. Yikes. That sucks. Magnifique Grammare, male. Magnificent. Malignant tumor in the liver has processed to a final stage with no hope of recovery. Patients have 3 months to live. Patients have chronic diabetes, requires regular insulin. That's why that probably was the... Wonder if the... Okay. That's why the package was on the table. Probably the insulin. The fact seems simple enough. But something's not right. The victim was already climbing 3 months' stairway to heaven. Why not wait for him to knock the heaven's door? Why shoot him? I will not put it quite so literally, but it's true. Why make the effort to commit a murder when the victim was about to die? Incidentally, the victim had a serious case of diabetes. Diabetes? In fact, he was about to shoot up with insulin. When he was shot with the pistol, the syringe was found at the crime scene. Chronic diabetes and cancer. As much as it pains me to say it, the victim was clearly at the end of his life. Use for administered insulin shot has been washed and shown no signs of use. I believe the questions before us are clear then. Why did the killer have to shoot this dying man? What reason could he have had? Very well, detective. Perhaps you can enlighten us as to the circumstances of the shooting. Yes, sir. The circumstances. Actually, the victim kind of ordered the defendant to do him in. A few days before it happened, the victim sent a letter ordering his own murder. Yikes. The defendant did what was asked of him and shot the old man in the forehead. The bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene, no doubt about it. What? Hold on. You're not serious there, Gumshoe. Like, you mean to tell me this freaking thing was used as a murder weapon? That clean of a shot to the head. And it most likely landed to the doll. Yeah, first of all, how did that happen? I don't know, but like... Yikes! Seriously? With this old thing? Ow. I'm not doubting the firepower in that, but like... I don't know, that clean of a shot though. Or I don't know, if maybe they've cleaned up. It doesn't look as gruesome, this picture right now, because there should be like... Or maybe this is literally like the most obvious shit ever and we are supposed to point out that where's the blood or some shit. I don't know. I hope not. That would be silly. Oh boy. I will have to see. And the pistol definitely belongs to the old man, sir. What? You're saying the victim ordered his own shooting? Those are the facts. I have here the letter in question. To my beloved students... Let me read the darn thing if you're giving it to me. To my beloved student Zach, I trust the task of lowering my life's curtains. Come on the 13th, 11:05 p.m. I will ready a gun with which you will shoot one shot, square in the forehead. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. That's just messed up. Very unusual indeed. Although, could such a thing as a letter really cause one to pull the trigger, I wonder? I believe the answer to that question can be found at the end of the letter. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Detective Konshu, can you explain this to the court? Unfortunately, even the defendant won't say a peep about that bit, sir. One thing bothers me about this. Why didn't he just say 11? Why have him come at 11:05 without some specific reason? The devil is in... The devil is the details, Herr Attorney. Well, was there some reason? As it turns out, there was. Every night for half an hour starting at 11, the victim, Magnifique Ramaray, was given an IV. An IV? There it is in the picture. Oh, there it is in the picture off the side of the bed. It hasn't been stuck to him yet. At 11, the doctor would come to set up the IV. 30 minutes later, he would come back for the empty bag. This happened every night without a fail. So that was the only time they could meet without a chance of an untimely interruption during his IV. Very well, shall we begin? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you would. What's this reason he couldn't refuse, I wonder? You could have at least mentioned it to me. Duh, would have been too easy then, I guess. The familiar music. Just because he got the letter doesn't mean he went through with it. I disagree. The victim was indeed shot in the forehead after all. Just as he had commanded. It could be a setup. But let's not be in such a hurry. Maybe we should let the witness talk for a change. Thanks, pal. Fine, I can play it slow as we all... Well, as I can play it fast. On with the testimony, Detective Gumshoe. And this letter was sent by the victim. There it is! Gotcha! You're all mine this time, pal! Huh? I had the handwritten checked out, of course. It's the victim's, no mistake. Ah, I see. Ha ha ha! Score 1 for the boys! I didn't lose, I was just, ascertaining the facts, but, yeah. So why am I so annoyed? Got a letter, ordering your own death. Things aren't what they used to be, I guess. I'm not sure this is exactly commonplace even now, Your Honor. So anyway, I guess I'll keep going while I'm ahead. How can you be so sure? Hey, you gotta learn to stop relying on people to do your thinking for you, pal. Learn to think for yourself. Get that noggin cracking. You fail to grasp the concept of questioning, Detective. First, we got this letter. It says shoot in the forehead, loud and clear. I can see that, but I still wouldn't do it. Well, maybe you need to grow yourself a backbone, pal. You fail to grasp the concept of shooting people is bad, Detective. We also found the defendant's pistol at the scene. Traces of gunpowder residue showing that it has been fired recently. Well, Mr. Wright. As far as I can tell from looking at this photo, there seems to be no issue with the prosecutor's claim. The photo, maybe there's something in there I can use. I mean, the freaking obvious doll also has a hole in its head, so was the freaking doll behind his pillow or some shit? And not standing at the desk there? They're saying that the defendant shot the victim in the forehead. I think there's a hole in the prosecutor's argument. Clearly, Mr. Enigmar. Looking at this photo, another possibility occurs to me. Yes. What does the letter tell us? That the defendant had a reason he couldn't refuse his teacher's wishes? Bingo, pal. That's why the defendant popped him out one in the forehead. Oh, the defense disagrees. You see, the defendant had another choice he could make. Objection! What? And you can prove that with this photo? I can prove he had a choice, yes. The defendant might have fired like he was ordered, but he didn't shoot the victim's forehead. Well, let's hear what you're thinking, Mr. Wright. If he didn't shoot the victim's forehead, what did the defendant shoot? The clown doll. Take a closer look. See? It's been shot in the forehead too. Ah, there's a hole in its forehead. Yes, and a hole in the prosecutor's claim. Objection! Huh? And I suppose you have a reason as to why he'd shoot the clown's doll? He didn't just shoot the doll, he's at the doll's forehead. His forehead? Ah. Let's read the orders. Once more, shall we? You will shoot. one shot square in the forehead. Which is exactly what he did. He shot the clown doll square in the forehead. The defense has raised an intriguing possibility. The hole in the clown's forehead, which definitely looks like it was shot. Bailiff, send someone to investigate this matter. I admit, I'm impressed, but I'm expected nothing less. Still, this doesn't mean that he didn't shoot the victim. Perhaps he didn't have to shoot the forehead as ordered. But the letter says nothing about whose forehead. This was the only way he had to follow his orders without taking a life. The bullet hole is the clown's doll's forehead does demand an explanation. It might very well be a clue, yet Prosecutor Gavin is right. It alone does not prove the defendant's innocence. You cannot say for sure the defendant didn't shoot the victim. So sorry, Mr. Wright. How sad it is to see the mighty fall. How sad it is to see the novice overconfidence. He doesn't realize just how big thing little hole is going to get. Defense, Detective Gumshoe, please take this newfound fact into the account as you continue your testimony. Didn't the gun looked like it could hold one bullet? It was like old as heck. Also, wouldn't someone have heard that shot? You know, just saying.
Just saying.
So let me get this straight. You're saying my client first shot the clown, then shot the victim. Hey, not a bad summary, pal. More of a confirmation than a summary, but whatever. That was really more of a confirmation than a summary. But our defense attorney seems pleased enough with himself. Do these people ever miss a chance to mock me? Well, now that Mr. Wright's gotten that out of his system, shall we continue with the testimony? I didn't have time to gather all the details before coming in here. This testimony might be my only source of information. Better pay attention. Read this letter carefully. Okay. Loss of blood from bullet wound. What's bothering me? There's no blood in the picture, so I'm like, did they clean it out or what? I'm gonna re-poke him and see if he says anything different. Okay, this is where they're saying different stuff, okay? But it might have been the clown's forehead he shot. Okay, so he practiced first on a doll, then shot him. He practiced in the middle of a hospital? Anyone could have come in at that moment. Yeah, but no one did come, did they, pal? Besides, it's what I would have done. Always look before you shoot, I say. Might I suggest we move on? This is getting us nowhere. Patience, we'll get there sooner than you think. Very well, please continue with your testimony, detective. So this part is said a little bit different. I'm still gonna poke. You mean this pistol's the one in the crime scene photo? That's the one. It's a funny looking gun, so there's no mistaking it. We compared the bullets taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from this gun. The rifling marks on the bullets were a perfect match. So you're certified the murder weapon in other words? You bet we did. Why are you so certain? That pile of sand has your head been stuck in all this time, pal. You never heard of sack and balance quick draw shoot 'em? Huh? What's that? One of the defendant's specialties. Why are we not talking about this woman, though? Zach and Valen stand on either side of a girl, then they shoot. But the bullets don't hit her. Instead, they hit everything else on the stage. This was one of the pistols they used in their show. Got a great design, huh? The kids love it. Many boys and girls joined the police because of that pistol, I hear. You know, that would explain a lot about the police force now. Oh, Joe Grammary stopped doing that act a while ago. The old man held on to that pistol ever since. The court would like to see the pistol in question. Oh, you got it, sir. Here she is. Well, this is truly a blast from the past. It's a stage pistol for magic shows, see? But it can't fire real bullets. It looks so much bigger in real life than on TV. Yeah, but it only holds one. Well, it only holds one round. And there it is. I thought it looked like a old ass gun that only holds one bullet. By the way, the pistol's firing chamber is empty. And it shows traces of having been fired recently. So were any fingerprints found on the gun? Unfortunately, no. Of course, the defendant is known for wearing gloves. We might say that the lack of fingerprints is, in fact, a fingerprint in its own. Ah, intriguing point, well made. Whoa, 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 not well made, it's not intriguing. In any case, the court accepts this evidence. Fired one real bullet. Barrel marks match bullet found in victim. No fingerprints. My grandchild would get a kick out of seeing this. But now it's time to return to the testimony. So let me get this straight. You're saying my client first shot the clown and then shot the victim? Hey, not a bad summary. I'm guessing we're using either the third one or the last one. And we're either using the letter or the gun as the evidence here. We'll have to see which one it is. Not the man in the forehead. I'm gonna test out the pistol here. Objection! Ah, did the trick. The trickiest cases often seem the simplest. Prosecutor Gavin, you missed the bullet hole in the clown's forehead. If you hadn't missed that, you might have come to a very different conclusion. Understand? Yeah, but like I just said, pal, after he shot the clown in the forehead, he went on a... Objection! Did nothing of a sort to the victim. The pistol proved he could not. The murder weapon? How? It's quite simple, Your Honor. This pistol only holds one bullet at a time. If he had shot the clown in the forehead, he couldn't have shot the victim too. That's not a contradiction, not even close. All he had to do was reload the pistol after he first shot. No. Oh, where did he get the extra bullet? They're not so easy to come by, you know. If you claim the defendant had one ready, then prove to us how he got it. I had a feeling this wasn't over yet. No, this party's just getting started. And I haven't proven anything yet, beyond my good looks and sterling record sales. And utter lack of humility. What's this? Seems that the prosecution has another witness prepared. Like I said, her detective was just a warm-up act. Not that the audience has gotten a taste of what's to come. They're ready. Ready for what? For my decisive witness, of course. A witness who, you will find, can prove one thing for us. That it was Zach Grameray who shot the victim in the forehead. Oh boy. Very well. We will pause for the 15-minute recess. This might be my lucky break. I'll need the 15 minutes to talk to my client, Zach. Court is adjourned. Okay. That wasn't too bad.
Hey.
Double save. No. We continue. We continue this. April 19th, 11:21 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. I have to say, I expected nothing less. We've only just begun. I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what happened, actually. I did not think you would believe me if I told you. Better that you discovered the truth for yourself. I was thinking of you, you know. I think we need less thinking and more talking. Pretty please. That night in the hospital, what really happened? The way your eyes gleam, Mr. Wright. You're scared Trucy. Speaking of which, where is she? You have seen the problem yourself. The letter. The one in the forehead one, right? Yes. And the reason he speaks of. I could not deny my mentor's wishes, even if it meant my own death. Why not? This is something I will not say. For now, at least. What is this for now business? You want me to defend you or not? I've done many things in my life, some well, some poorly. But this is a cross we must bear along to our graves. We? You wanted to know about the night of the incident. Finally, this guy sure likes to take his time getting to the important stuff. Of course, I had no intentions of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. I found theirs upon his bedside, they pulled 2 pistols. 2? Yes. One I had used on stage, and the other one had been used by my partner, Valent. Oh, for Zack and Valent's quick draw thing. My mentor had the look of one sleeping. I stood by his bedside, hearing only the light sound of his breathing. Then I took the pistol into my hand. I cannot deny that my resolve faltered then, for a moment. Faltered? You mean you thought about shooting him? Well, there was a reason I could not refuse his request. His last such request, though, not his first. So there were other requests you couldn't refuse before. To be honest, I've not always been steadfast, and I fear I've brought pain upon Trucy. Was Magnifique or cursing him disciplined somehow? It was just what was going on in Troop Grammary? Yet in the end, I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned and shot the clown. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket. In your pocket? I believe if you examine the bullet in the clown's head, you will find it to be different than the one in my mentor. What were those called? Rifling marks? Ah, yes. Well, that is all I have to tell you, considering the case. Well, that's good news. He just claimed that he did shoot the clown. Concerning the case, you mean there's something else you can tell me? You are a fascinating man, Mr. Wright. Thanks? Ah, yes, there is something. My mentor. His eyes opened. What? Magnifique Grammary? The old devil. He was not asleep, you see. Of course, the gun shop would have woken him up anyway. There we had our last discussion as mentor and pupil. It was not a long discussion, maybe 5-10 minutes or so. What did you talk about? Mr. Wright, did I not just tell you? It does not concern this case. Zach Grammary. He seems pretty steady fast to me. Maybe just stubborn. Mr. Wright, your presence is required in the courtroom. Once again, I'm in your hands. Right, let's get back in there. Okay. Wonder who the witness is then. April 19th. And this makes me think that the other pistol was meant for Valent, probably. Maybe it was meant for them both. Maybe he sent both of them a letter. Mainly just in case the other one decides not to shoot him or something. I don't know. April 19th, 11:37 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. I need to go soon. Choir, I'll probably see your next stream as my choir lasts now. Okay. Have fun at the choir, Glitch. We'll see what happens here. Court is now back in session. Oh, they found a bullet. During our recess, a bullet was found and dug out from the clown's head. Well, this is news. And the rifling marks? There wasn't time to do a detailed analysis. Though we did find the weapon type matched the murder weapon. So interesting, I need to eat before it starts. Yeah, go eat. Bye-bye. Well, that's not very conclusive, is it? Which is why I'm about to call my very decisive witness. You know, decisive witness? How many times have I heard those words? Well, they often turn out to be far less decisive than you think. Oh, don't worry about my account. I'm quite confident this witness will do the job. After all, he's intimately acquainted with the players in our little production. Being the other half of the Troupe Grammary famous duo, Zack and Valent. Oh, great. The witness is Valent. Great. There goes my voice. So we get to meet the great magnificent other discipline. Perhaps we start asking your name and occupation. Valent Grammary, magician. You're the decisive witness, are you? You can prove your fellow student or your partner's guilt. Fate, the grand illusion, filled with traps and tricks. But wait, the shooting took place in the hospital after 11 o'clock at night. If you're a witness, does that mean you were there that late? If one were to deduce this logically, the conclusion is yes. Okay. I always get the characters, don't I? I have an interesting fact for you. You see, several days before the crime, my witness received this. Looks very familiar. Wait. That's the same letter Zack Grammary received. Oh yes, oh, perhaps I should say ta-da! Order. And what does it say? Surely not the same thing. And perhaps you should see for yourself. Oi! Mitäs pirulaista papparaa ne oikein mennyt kirjoittelemaan sen pojille? My beloved student Valent, to you I entrust the task of lowering my life's curtains. Come on the 13th, 11:20 p.m. So name's different, the time is different. I will ready a gun which you will shoot one shot, square in the forehead. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. I have I'm guessing that Zack didn't want to shoot the master for a reason being probably trucy. And Valent was the one who actually shot McNiffy in the forehead. Probably. So why did Valent walk away from this then? And is did Zack go to prison? Which meant that Phoenix started taking care of Trucy because of the guilt then. Or some shit. Well, maybe I'm thinking too soon. We need more proof, this stuff. Oh, it's practically the same. Court accepts this into the evidence. This is most unusual. Still gonna... Yeah, we'll check. Yep. Oh yeah, can we look at the gun, like 3D style? Hell yeah, we can. Whee! Look closely, you can see how the pistol's made a bend here. It's a one-shot only model, and I guess the bends in is where it loads in. So this is the famous Grammar Golden Gun. They say kids used to love pretending they had one of these. I wonder if they pretended to miss their targets too? Hope so. It is most unusual. Exactly what's going on with you folks? What exactly was your trope grammary up to? By which you mean? I'm just having trouble envisioning a man who would ask his students to kill him. Both of them, no less. What about the third person? The woman? Why aren't we talking about her? It's just my opinion, Judge. But from these letters, I'd say he was forcing them, not asking them. We walked the magician's path together, and in so doing, shared much of our lives. When people are so close, there's a strain, a wrapping of relations, you might say. Yet this has nothing to do with the case at hand. By which you mean you're not going to tell us. Which makes me wonder even more about this reason they couldn't refuse. Yeah, especially now that the McNiffy is dead. Why can't they share exactly? Well, let's get on with the testimony for the starters. The defendant, Zack Ramirez, stands accused. Tell us why. Oh, I'll do more than that. For where he walks, the red roses rise singing hums the miracle that is magic. Fascinating, though I hardly need to remind you that the evidence could just as clearly point to you as the suspect. The letter, the murder, the weapon, and now the 2 bullets found in the crime scene. In fact, the only difference seems to be the designated time. As every magician knows, timing is everything. Oh yes. And now it's time to get this party fired up. Night of the crime. That night, I visited the hospital room at the time McNiffy requested. The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and my mentor had taken his final bow. I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. Yet a deal with the dead is still a deal. Death's sweet kiss I gave the clown. Then I informed the doctor and the police. You were the one who reported the crime. Indeed, I would think. This fact alone would clear my name of suspicion. Let's not jump to any conclusions, buddy. Yes, the cross-examination generally comes before the conclusions in this court. But if your testimony proves to be true, then the defendant, Zach Rameray, is guilty. And if it wasn't Zach Rameray, then the killer was you, Valent. And no disappearing act will get you out of that. But what the heck are we supposed to do exactly here? At what point do we use the evidence that ends up kicking us in the nuts, basically? I wonder. Which, according to the letter, was 11:20 p.m. Indeed. In magic, timing is everything. Right. Consider the illusion of teleportation. If I were to appear on stage before my stunned double had left, how would that look? Why, it would reveal the very secret of my magic. Now that you've relieved the very secret of your magic for all of us, let's move on. You went to the designated time, and what did you see? So you weren't worried for your own safety at all? I mean, you smelled gunpowder, yes. What if the shooter was still nearby? I did not consider this, to be honest. It is forbidden for a magician to have a good imagination. Really? Isn't magic all about illusions and imagination? How about this? You were the shooter. This is why you weren't afraid. No. Now you are the one imagining. It's forbidding for a lawyer to have a good imagination. Well, now you're just throwing bullshit out. The witness will refrain from pausing the suspicions before responding. My forbidden imagination is starting to imagine things. Which brings us back to this reason. Neither of you could refuse. So it does, and my partner did not refuse. But McNiffy wrote the same thing to you. Why could you refuse, if Zach couldn't? Because I have a will of steel, of course. I also do this trick of where I bend steel bars, so perhaps steel isn't all so strong. So which is it? Mind if I continue? There were 2 bullet holes in the scene. One in the victim and one in the clown. You're saying the one who shot the clown was you? No doubt my partner Zach had said such the same thing. Yeah, because whoever didn't shoot the clown committed the murder. I'd better dig around here a bit more and see what I turn up. Mr. Valent, let me ask about something else considering the crime scene, namely. How many pistols were there when you entered the room? By which you mean what precisely? 2 pistols were used in the Zack and Valen quick draw shoot 'em, correct? One of each of you. You are very informed, yes. Only one of my old friends sat in the hospital room that night. What did Zack tell me back in a hobby? Of course, I had no intentions of shooting my mentor. I mentioned 2 pistols. And he has it in his own pocket. I see no problem with the statement. There's only 1 pistol invisible in the photograph of the crime scene after all. So he picked up that pistol and fired it. Indeed I did. Alakazam, alakazaming, whatever the frick he's saying. The number of pistols really so important? The number of pistols is quite important, Your Honor. Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony. What can I do but obey? So you took the only pistol there and fired it? That's correct. And that pistol was this one which was left at the crime scene? Good show. I see you two are a magician of sorts. And you're an idiot of sorts. Do you have any idea what you just said? I see the fire in your eyes as you glare at the witness. So how about heating up this trial a bit? These slow ballots bore me. I've got a hunch, but maybe that's all it is. Maybe you should ask about something else. Location or the bullet in the pistol? Location. There's certain... Where exactly was the pistol when you entered the room? Atop a small bedside table it was. As if to say, here I am, take me into your hands, pull my trigger, shoot me. The victim clearly wanted them to shoot. Be shot. But why? Perhaps he wanted to go out with a bang. Yet we will never hear the truth from his lips, so all we can do is, I guess. Is the location of the pistol all that important? Can we add that there too? Without a murder weapon, there would be no murder. Very important. Or does it just change this last one? I think it does. I think we need to point out the... Hold on. Let's try that one other one. I want to see what it says. Bullet in the pistol. In order to shoot a pistol, you need a bullet. Where was the bullet? I entered the room and took the pistol in my hand. The bullet was already loaded, ready to fire at any time. A magician is always prepared, you see. Prepared for... One never knows when a miracle will be called for. A magician always has 7 doves in his pocket and white rabbit up each sleeve. Clearly we're dealing with the professionals here. Is this bullet what was loaded in the pistol really so important? Without a loaded bullet, we wouldn't have a murder. The pistol was already loaded. Something doesn't make sense. Why weren't the victim's fingerprints on it? You should know that we of the Troop Grammar are capable of many things. One of these being the levitation of iron bars without touching them. There's no magic involved here. The shooter was just methodical, is all. He simply wiped everything off fingerprints. Can't really do much with fingerprints that I went there. I do want to point out the pistol number instead. Because we have the knowledge of there should have been 2. And he's talking about just 1. And we know where the second one is. I will poke about this last part though. So you informed the police. What did you do then? What do you suppose I did? I used my magic to levitate my mentor's corpse, perhaps? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Now, please answer the question and skip the sarcasm. After I had made my report, I called the doctor and we returned to the room. While we waited for the police to arrive, we discussed stomach medicine. I've confirmed this with the doctor. It all checks out. He praised Mr. Vallon's knowledge on stomach medicine, in fact. It is an honor I do not deserve, but I accept. Both of Magnificent's students received the same letter. Both admit of having gone to the hospital that night. 2 bullets were fired, and one of them killed Magnifi. Time to find the cracks in his testimony. Maybe I should do just in case question all again, and if nothing changes except for the second to last one that I can make him change his testimony there into 3 different options, then I'm just gonna have to, you know, start poking at the second to last one and see what evidence clicks in there. I will double check all these. First one is not changing anything. Yeah, it doesn't change anything other than the last one, so it has to be this one, but now just gotta figure out what do we exactly want here. Only one pistol was in the hospital room that night. With it, I shot the clown. wonder. Which one do we use? Do we use the photograph here, or do we use the stage pistol? Oh, might as well give it a shot. Oh, it's the gun. Okay. According to the defendant, Zach Rameray, when he entered the room, there were 2 pistols on the table. 2? One for those pistols he used to shoot the clown in the forehead. Then he left with it in his pocket. Of course, this is what he would say. Unlike the hapless clown, we must assume our defendant has some brains in his head. Well, what about what Mr. Valent has told us? You see, there's something about this testimony that doesn't make sense. What might that be? I told you, I took the pistol that was there and shot the clown. Yeah, except the clown was already shot at that point. That's your story, at least. But the rifling marks tell a very different story, Mr. Valent. Recall what Prosecutor Gavin told us? Ooh, that is true. Mr. Valent, if you fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead. Order, order, order. Well, this is all rather sudden. What have I done? Prosecutor Gavin? I owe the court an apology. Sorry. Sorry for what? You see, I was unaware that 2 of these unique pistols were crafted. The analysis of the rifling marks only proves the type of gun that fires them. But that's not what you told us before. You said you verified the murder weapon. Which is why I'm apologizing to you now. Quite sincerely, I might add. Bullshit. Would you hold me accountable for a mistake made in my youth? You fucker. Listen here, you little shit. That was just this morning. I am still young. And I might add, it wasn't really my fault. If the defendant had only admitted he took 1 pistol from the scene of the crime, we would not be having this pleasant discussion night. Alan Rameray. Yes, Your Honor. You were presented to this court as a decisive witness, but you've been proven to be more decisive than decisive.
Objection!
You'll see in time. Huh? The testimony so far has merely been review of the facts. The proof comes next. Care to elaborate, Prosecutor Gavin? When Mr. Valent entered the hospital room, the victim had already been shot. As his next testimony will prove her fright, the real fight is about to begin. Bring it. Bring it, bitch. Very well, the witness will now testify to the court. Help us determine who shot what. Kuka ampui ja ketä ja mitä ja milloin ja missä? Liste. I arrived in the hospital room at the appointed time, which is to say 11:20 p.m. After discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation, then called in the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. He was quite clear about the time of death. Bullshit. And the one in the room at the time was my partner, not me. Those times are rather close, you have to admit. You're talking about an alibi established over a matter of minutes. Use a 10-minute discrepancy as the basis of your alibi. It's easily explained in this situation, Judge. For example, take our debut hit single, 13 Years Hard Time for Love. Cue the song, press the play button, and it will play for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Wow, that's a short song. Do it 100 times, the result's the same. The debut single was only 2 minutes and 15 seconds long? What a ripoff. Magic is word of utmost precision. Hocus pocus requires admirable focus. And in the time of death determined by the doctor, there's an inconceivable truth. Very well, the prosecution warns us that we're dealing with rather precise times. We can expect the cross-examination to require the same level of precision. I would hope the defense refrains from its customarily board sweeping accusations, lest we blur the focus this case so clearly demands. Point taken. Baseless remarks will result in penalty. Carry on, Mr. Wright.
Haistakaa kukkanen.
Carry on, right.
Mitä, enkö saa muka tökkiä? Tehdään hitto nähdään. I will poke the heck out of them if I have to.
"11:20 p.m. Can you prove that that's when you arrived?" Alas, such feat may be beyond even the great Valent. For this was no one in that room but McNiffy, and he was a departed after a fashion. I have here defendant Zach Grammary sworn deposition. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. It was 10 minutes before I left the room, and the victim was still alive. The time indicated by this letter to Zach was 11:05 p.m. Exactly. Which means the witness could not have entered that room before 11:15. Because his partner was still in the middle of his crime. I see someone did their arithmetics homework. You see, the defendant himself has corroborated the witness's testimony. Does that all make sense? Oh god, do I have to do it like this? But that's the thing, if I say no problem, do I still get a penalty or... Okay. Oh god, so is this how I need to point out the contradictions in this one? Yikes. You walk into the murder, and the first thing you do is shoot the clown? The discipline does what the discipline must. My mentor requested without a reason had cause for me the suffice of sorrow. For what I would, I Valent be now without him. May the soul of Magnific the Great find greater peace above. This I muttered to myself, and I pulled the lonely trigger. In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we have already learned. I'm still waiting for one of those rights moments for attorney. May I remind you that the baseless remarks will earn penalties. Proceed with this mind. Yes, Your Honor. What a pain this is turning out to be. Did the doctor say anything concerning the cause of death? Why, yes, I believe he screamed, "My God, he's been shot in the head." It doesn't take a doctor to notice that. I probably would have screamed the same thing. And I would have penned the requiem that arose in my soul at that horrid sight. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned investigation? In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we have already learned. Yeah, shut up, Clavier, shut up. Wow, was it really the first one that I pointed out? That one's gonna have the contradiction, but since it's the only one that gave me it, but well, we'll see. I don't think I'm stepping out on a limb to say I have some doubts about this. How could the doctor be so precise with the timing? You usually only get an estimated time of death true. Not sure if I've heard of the verified time of death. Magic reveals in the making of complex appears simple, but reality is the opposite. What appears complex in this case is simple matter of subtraction. I see another person has done their arithmetic homework. The point here is the IV the victim was taking. It's quite visible in the photograph of the scene. Yeah, but it's not put in him. Wasn't the doctor supposed to administrate it? Why is it not in him then? Recall what we heard earlier about the victim Magnifique Grammare schedule. Every night at 11 p.m., Magnifique took an IV drip for 30 minutes. I can see the IV bag right there, yes. But why is it not in him? Like, the needle is just there, but it's not, like, put in his arm. Oh, look a little closer for the tube down from the back to the end. Yeah, it's on the pillow. It's, like, not in him. Ah, the needle's been removed. Undoubtedly, it fell out when he was shot. Like that? Are you stupid or something? What kind of fucking needle fall out of... That's put into your vein on your arm. How the hell does that thing just fall off? You would have to be like swung about quite roughly for that to happen. Plus he would have had to like have some kind of mark in his hand. You know, to indicate where the needle had been. Oh yeah, by the way, if he had been like, if that procedure would be done to him like every night, then he would literally have like a, like, wouldn't he have like a permanent tube in his arm for much more easier administration rather than being poked a new needle every night? Am I crazy or am I crazy thinking that? Like if someone is gonna be administrated like something to their vein every single day, wouldn't they have like a permanent spot for that? Or do they actually just have to poke themselves every single day with the new needle? I'm a bit confused right now because there's the... Okay, let me explain by using the... not the fudging badge. Picture here. There's this package. This package over here. Then there's this bag over here. And I'm like, this thing, I'm assuming it's supposed to go here. Like an IV drop thing. So if this thing is being administrated to him every single night, wouldn't they leave like a perma thing here? With like a open tube thing? And then it would have to be just this tip, not the needle anymore. It's just the tip put in there and blah, 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 you know. This one looks more like the stuff that needs to be poked to yourself every day type of thing. You know? Am I crazy right now, or can they seriously just do the every single night poke a new needle here? Well, anywho, the most obvious bullshit right now here is, even though Clavier just pointed out that, oh, it's not actually in him right now. Yeah, there's no even mark. There's not a mark in his hand indicating that it ever got even put into him. So I'm like, can we even trust the doctor in this situation anymore? Wasn't the doctor the one that was like pointed to do this every single night at 11 p.m. Yet the needle is on the freaking bed over here and not into him. If it's daily doses, it's probably fed with an IV drip sort of delivery. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit confused about this, but we'll see what we exactly have to point out here. The bleed fell out of when he was shot. That would seem to be the case. When the needle comes out, the IV no longer drips. Ah, you could just measure the remaining IV liquid. Precisely. The IV liquid functions for our purposes as an hourglass of sorts. This is how the doctor determined the time of death. For the amount of remaining in the bag, it what determined that. The IV had stopped 10 minutes after administration began. So we're using it like that in this case. Okay. And so it was when Valent entered that room. 10 minutes had passed since the horrible crime had been committed. And this is the proof. Hello, Violet. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good Monday. Bullet hole is the cleanest I've ever seen. It looks like the strickler with the lack of blood is front or behind. There's been two shots that been fired using two different guns. One in the forehead and one in the clown's forehead. And we have two letters that were both pointed out to. First one to Zach, and he was supposed to appear 5 minutes past 11. One shot, one square the forehead. Doesn't say whose forehead. Same thing for Valent, but slightly different time and otherwise same instruction. One bullet, forehead. This is the guy we're defending, Shadi, and this Valent. Young Valent. Chaotic Monday, and not in a good way. Darn. Hope it's getting a little bit better now that it's evening already, but it's not great if it's already been a chaotic one for you. I'm glad to see you here. Did that seem important? Yeah. Well, seeing how it is the biggest clue we have to time of the death, I'd say it's very important. Agreed. It would be hard to imagine a more precise way to determine the time. Behold the power of arithmetic. Very well. The witness will add this detail to his testimony. Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth. Did you notice the IV yourself by any chance? When first I entered the room, the stench of gunpowder assailed me. Next, the mark of death upon my mentor's forehead. And then, his left arm. Did I spy a rose dropping and filtered? Its thorn, the scared IV needle. Knocked from the vein by the force of the shot. luckily for you. If that ivy had not been there, why, you might be a suspect. Indubitably so. I might say it's thanks to my lucky color. Your lucky color? Indeed. Even today I wear it proudly upon my suspect self. For it always, without a fail, brings me luck. Why, when Zack and Valent won their first magical Grand Prix, yes, the very one held by the Association of International Magicians, I was upborn in this attire then too, and our trophy is a bust. Ah, what a day that was. Ay, Yoko. Ah, my lucky color, yes indeed, and that ivy too. I think that's huge, especially for me, Valent. That does seem to be the case indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, any thoughts on this testimony? Valent sure looks happy with himself. Okay, how about this lucky color testimony? Is he colorblind? That thing's green. Like blue and green. He's wearing yellow. But to be fair, he didn't exactly say it was his lucky color. What exactly? So I'm gonna save and ask just in case. It certainly sounds like your lucky color brought plenty of luck. But not this time. Mr. Valent, your lucky color betrayed you. I'm afraid you lost me. Your Honor, the witness's testimony just now clearly contradicts the evidence. What? And I suppose I'm supposed to show it now? Yeah, I know. I'm gonna take a penalty if it's bad. Very sure evidence that contradicts Mr. Valent has told us. This picture? We're trying to prove that his lucky color supposedly is yellow and the freaking IV bag is blue splash. The liquid is green. What? Photo of the crime scene. All this talk of color has me yearning for black and white, clear-cut simplicity. Tell us, Herr Fried, just where is the contradiction in this photo? My pleasure, and I assure you it's quite simple. But I can't promise anything in black and white. Violent grammar rate. Let's get one thing straight about your lucky color. It's yellow, yes? Kinda takes the mystery out of it, but yes. Okay. Does that bag look like yellow to you? Something wrong with yellow, Mr. Wright? Yes, there is. Decisively wrong, in fact. Take another look at this photo of the crime scene. Where the fuck do you guys see a yellow bag? What's this? Confusion, doubt. Let us, watch you elderly eyes spy. Even my elderly eyes can see the problem here, Mr. Valent. Look at the ivy bag. What is the foul matching? It would be hard to call an ivy liquid yellow. And I'm afraid no magic gas was involved in taking this photograph.
Oh my god, he really has bunnies and doves.
But... yeah, but we have a problem. What does this prove exactly? Like, he missed the color. So he didn't notice the IV bag?
Objection!
This is some kind of mistake. Yes, Prosecutor Gavin. The witness's mistake. The greener they are, the harder they fall. Suppose there's no substitute for experience. Valent Grammar, as you reminded us several times. Your lucky color is yellow, but the ivy is clearly not. Oh, well... This contradiction can mean only one thing. My Danu. And to think, you almost had me. Huh? I see your true colors nowadays, Attorney Phoenix, right? Oh, they really love saying my full-ass name. Something you'd like to tell us, Prosecutor Gavin? As far as this court can tell, the witness testimony does contradict the evidence. Yeah, but it proves bullshit. Yeah, contradiction. One that I so pleased to hand right back to Mr. Wright. How do you mean? How? Because the witness has made no mistakes. I agree at a glance that the ivy liquid does appear sort of greenish yellow. That's fucking green, you idiot. But I assure you the liquid itself is quite yellow. Yellow liquid? How can you say that? As far as I can tell from this photo, it's green. Oi vittu, oikeesti. Don't recite color theory to me. I know that if it's yellow liquid is inside of a blue bag, it's gonna appear greenish, but this guy? Do we really believe that this magician guy over here is like, oh, yellow? Oi, verhana, oikein. No, anywho. Yes, but what color is the ivy bag itself? The bag? You mean plastic bag on the hook? Oh my god, I don't even want to read this. They're gonna point out the fucking bag is blue. And it's gonna change the color to green. Wow. Whoop-de flipping through. Right. So, he recited that the color was yellow. Even though the bag was blue and the liquid inside looked like it's green. Mitä perua? As I thought. There's no substitute for experience, Prosecutor Gavin. What? You may tell a good tale, but you've just proven something rather grave. For you, that is. Grave? The liquid in the IV is yellow, yes. But how did the witness know that? It's quite unnatural when you think about it. You did think about it, didn't you? Your Honor, the defense requests an explanation for from the witness. As the scene of the crime, the IV liquid appears to be green. So let me ask, how did the witness know the IV liquid was actually yellow? Bunnies! Buns. Order! Mr. Wright, you will explain this at once. The witness clearly knew the color of the IV liquid. I guess, I'm sure it means something, but what? Just saving in case Wright decides to give us the chance to explain. I can think of only one possibility, Your Honor. The witness Valent Grammar has testified that the IV liquid was yellow because he'd seen it before? From the facts before us, the answer is clear. The witness knew that the IV liquid was yellow. Why? Because he had seen it before. But not inside the blue bag we've seen in the photo. He saw the liquid by itself in a clear, colorless bag. I suppose he would have had to, but I'm still not clear as to what all this means. Ask yourself, why would he know if he didn't work at the hospital? That's where you'll find your meaning, Your Honor. I'm afraid I find nothing. So, what if he knew the IV liquid's color? Leave the getting excited over absolutely nothing to our teeny popper fans, yeah? The IV liquid is the only evidence proving the time of death. A 30-minute hourglass with 20 minutes worth of sand remaining. Your claim, Prosecutor Gavin. I remember it well. However, there's a critical difference between an hourglass and an IV bag. Well, wait, I know! The hourglass uses sand, but the IV bag uses liquid. Good job, Judge. Good job. As much it pains me to say this, Your Honor, no. Unlike the sand, though, an hourglass, IV liquid enters the patient's body. At which point, like magic, it disappears. However, what if the amount of IV liquid had increased? You couldn't tell, could you? After all, there's no way of knowing how much went in. Let me get this straight, Fried. You're saying the witness watered down the victim's IV bag? Not with water, but with IV liquid. That's how you knew the IV liquid was yellow. Wait, I said wait! How might an amateur such as myself essay to perform such a task? I'm an amateur too, but I can pour water into a cup. I'm afraid there's quite a big difference between a cup and an IV bag. Quite. Can we prove our witness is capable of such feat? He has a point. Amateurs, at least would have some difficulty pouring IV liquid into that bag. You don't need to be an expert to see the look on the witness's face. He added liquid to that IV to throw off the time of death. I'm tired of these fairy tales lacking evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, any solid evidence to bring us back down to earth? I don't know if we have. Violent grammar rate? I'm afraid your magic won't serve you well in a life of crime. Might I ask what you're strongly suggesting? Magic relies on props, and props become evidence. Our witness was certainly able to increase the amount of IV liquid in the bag. All he had to do was work a little magic, and prop was... oh yeah, this thing. Small syringe. Technically, that could be it. I mean, we haven't used that yet, so... and that bag was on the desk. Plus, our... you know, our own witness, or the person who's been accused in this case, literally said that he saw 2 pistols here. There was no bag. So... it's this little syringe. Oh, the victim's syringe. It's the perfect prop for the magical increasing IV trick. And easy enough for an amateur to use. What kind of evidence is that? The syringe was clean, not a trace of liquid in it. I don't find that odd. And don't you find that odd, Prosecutor Gavin? What? The victim had the syringe to administrate his insulin shots. There should have been traces of insulin left inside. Well, Valent Grammary, as you pointed out yourself, the IV liquid makes the perfect clock. One that you could manipulate at will. Yeah, bunnies. I wonder how many birds are festering up in this courtroom by now. Those two bunnies don't seem to leave his sight, but the birds do. Either that or he summons them back to himself. I do believe, well, with this being his first, that burden of this trial has been a bit too much to bear for Prosecutor Gavin. I'm afraid that while there is doubt as to the amount of Ivy liquid in the bag, the time of death cannot be proven. And that brings our trial to a close for today. Well, maybe I can squeeze in an extra day out of this. I can do a little much-needed investigation work. I see there's no object. Noi vittu. Truly, there's no substitute for experience. Nothing blinds one of the truth so efficiently. A word of the wise. Underestimating the young and they'll sweep your feet out from under you in a way you never ever expected. You see, I know exactly what you're thinking. What's he talking about? You say the witness used a syringe to manipulate the level of the IV liquid. But there's no proof. There's no proof he didn't do it either. Yeah, that's quite true. He's admitting it? Nor was this witness quite as decisive as I hoped. This I admit, after all, might linger in the past when the future holds so much. You have something in mind, Prosecutor Gavin. Prove her, Judge. I have another way to prove my case. He has a diary. With evidence, no less. What's this? This is the victim, Magnifique Ramirez's diary. Diary? After going into the hospital, Magnifique began writing his memoir, it seems. The story of his birth, his starting debut, and meeting his disciples. It seems he intended for the last chapter to end quite appropriately with his death. Wait, that book doesn't say what the reason was, does it? The reason why his disciples couldn't refuse his last request? Sadly, it does not. But what's important here is the last page. Apparently, the victim wrote in his journal that night. Even after the IV had begun at 11 p.m. Let's read it, shall we? Wait, does the diary actually have the last page, or is it ripped? Oh, it's still ripped, okay. But the page that we have is the forged page. It's not the real page, which I'm guessing. Because we're about to do the thing where we present this fucking page and somehow it's gonna be proven that that page is forged, and that's gonna kick us out. Or somehow it's gonna end up to be that. Tonight's IV is in, maybe the last. I leave the rest to them. The first should come soon. This journal may end here or it may go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. All that is left to mine is to lay down this pen. This does appear to have been written just before his death. Court accepts this into evidence. Read the very last part with particular care. This journal may end here or it may go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. Of course, by his, he refers to our defendant, Zach Grammary. That would make sense, yes. He was the first scheduled visitor, after all. But look at what he said before that. This journal may end here or it may go on. It may go on. Magnific Grammary intended to write again. That is, if Zach Grammary didn't pull the trigger. I see the defense understands the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on. It ends. Because Magnific's life was brought to an end by the defendant Zach Grammary. Prosecutor Gavin, are you certain that Magnific Grammary wrote this? There's no mistake his handwriting. Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Magnific did intend to continue his diary. And if his diary ended here, which plainly it did, then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor, Zach Grammary. Well, how do you like me now, Herfright? And this is the part where we... Oh, that is so mean. Let's read the page. This is the forged, most likely the forged page. This is not what it actually says. Fate's clock will make me wait a little longer. At last, only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported me in my life's work, I give thanks. Farewell. Still too green for your taste, huh? Is Wright gonna show it himself, or does the game force us players to do it? He's right about the diary being pretty clear. Still, I find it hard to believe that he'd overlook such an obvious problem with his previous evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, the witness's testimony we heard was lacking. But put together with this evidence, it seems quite sufficient for a case. If the diary is accepted like this, the trial's over. Maybe it's time for me to show them something. Time to fall into the trap, I suppose. I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence. What? You have some evidence that overturns this diary. It's not too late to rethink this and avoid more embarrassment. Very well, please show us your evidence, Mr. Wright. Incidentally, don't even think of showing us this diary I've just shown the court. Now that we've come to this far, I hope you have something little more decisive. Show us evidence that proves the victim continued writing his diary. Alright, I'd be happy to. Oh boy. Well, here goes. The decisive evidence proving that the diary didn't end with this page is... First, take a closer look at the diary. Note that the page has clearly been ripped out. What's this? I haven't noticed that at all. Seriously? That's why we're still here talking about this. As it just so happens, I have here what I believe is to be the missing page. I don't believe it! Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor that night shot Magnific Grammary. That's the defense's position. Wait, let me see that. I don't know, Sam Hill. Why, this is the continuance of the victim's diary. Is this the moment shit hits the fan? Not the torn edge of the page. It's the perfect match with the torn remains of the last page in the Magnific's diary. Quite remarkable. Would you care to explain what all this means, Attorney? The diary continued after his first visitor came, which means that the victim was still alive after Zach Rameray left, leaving no one to take his life but the second visitor. Valant Grammary. Oh. No! Oh, the handwriting too matches that of the other pages. This is without a doubt the genuine article. Except it wasn't. But wasn't the whole ass book wasn't the entire book? Like the whole biggest thing about this was that the entire book was forged. And that's what is even the biggest thing, because that means this would mean the biggest reason why Clavier was sweating bullets against Apollo, because he realized that the entire freaking book was false evidence, which would also make him, you know, look pretty fucking bad. It would mean that both Clavier and Phoenix presented a false evidence. Wait, that is impossible. That old man couldn't have written that.
Objection!
Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you have, right? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Judge? Yes, Prosecutor Gavin. Might I request we put the current cross-examination to an hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. We're still continuing this? This evidence overturns the current witnesses. I ask only to put it on a hold. Please, my new witness has a very, very important piece of testimony to give. 5 minutes, no more. I promise, Your Honor. Put it that way, Mr. Wright. What's your take on this? Well, Your Honor, judging from his enthusiasm, we'll have to hear this new testimony sooner or later anyway. So it might as well be sooner. And, this is highly, highly irregular. We will put the current cross-examination to on hold. The witness may step down. Now, Prosecutor Gavin, please bring this surprise witness to the courtroom. I had a bad feeling just then. That a ripped-out page was too obvious. He must have known. And I should have known it. The bad sign all around. Wow. Holding trial with no audience is a first, even for me, Prosecutor Gavin. I beg the court's understanding. But I had to make a judiciary deal with the witness to secure his testimony. A judiciary deal? The detail of his testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we say. I thought it best to contain the information to this room. Very well. And you are the witness, I gather? Yes, sir. State your name and occupation for the record. My name is Drew Misham. I'm a painter. A painter? And you are somehow related to this case? Oh, no, well, not per se. I have one simple question for this witness. Mr. Misham, was it? Do you know what this is? Oh, yeah, I know it well. How's that possible? Have you seen this diary page somewhere before? Oh yeah, I mean, I made it. Wow. Just like that. You... What? You made it? Yes. You might call it one of my works. Prosecutor's office received a tip-off yesterday. Illegal evidences have been prepared for the trial of Zach Ramaray. Legal evidences? I initiated an investigation and found this witness. A painter to the world at large, Drew Misham has another side, you might say. He is skilled in making perfect reproductions of certain things. Forgeries, in other words. Forgeries? Well, so we are to understand that this page here is a fake. Prepared by a certain defense attorney. We did no such thing. We just received that today. Plus, we received that from technically our client, but technically not, because poor little Trucy literally was just delivering that to us. But of course, Trucy wouldn't freaking remember who she got it from. Hold it! I didn't prepare this evidence. Objection! Ah, the attorney speaks. Something about this page, I presume. But what is he saying? It makes no sense. After all, it was you who presented this evidence to us, Phoenix, right? Oh, Clavier, way to be a dick. Witness, Mr. Wissom, was it? Who requested this forgery? Who was your client? If he now says the client was Phoenix Wright, then yeah, we're basically screwed. Oh, he says that he didn't know. I don't know. What? Most of my clients prefer to remain anonymous, even to me. I make the items they want and receive my payment. That's the extent of my contract with them. Objection! But there's no proof this is a fake. It is a fake. Huh? To avoid just this sort of a problem, I always put a special mark of my works. On your works? Can say without a doubt this is mine. What? How can we see it? Eh? What kind of mark? I'm intrigued. How do you tell it? Mr. Wright, you have just presented a legal evidence to this court. High court. It was careless of me. That's all I can say. I mean, to be fair, it was kind of stupid move. When you really think about it, you took a torn page from a child as an evidence. Didn't do a proper checkings of where that paper came from. Just made like assumptions that it was from that diary. You didn't ask Trucy who gave the paper to her. Someone gave it to her in the hall. It was all a trap. A fatal trap. Mr. Wright. Yes? Do you have any explanation for yourself? If I did, would the court hear it? Probably not. Forging evidence is a serious crime. And presenting it to a court is a serious mistake. Fatal mistake for an attorney. Fatal, too, perhaps, for your client, I fear. Tell me, what kind of defendant relies on forged evidence? The answer's quite clear. A guilty one.
Objection!
Kuulepa räkääno. Your Honor, wait. I understand that presenting forged evidence in court is serious crime. But you cannot hold my client responsible for actions I undertook as an individual. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. Your Honor. Another close call, I dare say. If the prosecutor's office hadn't received that hot tip, everything would have gone to where you wanted it to, yeah? This isn't about the winning, you dipchick. I even gave you a chance. Too bad you decided not to think before embarrassing yourself. I see no further discussions of this matter. Special witness dismissed. Mr. Attorney. Yes? Do I ask your name? Phoenix Wright. Mr. Wright. I've seen and studied many people, but unlike you, I'll remember you, Mr. Wright. So... Though I deeply regret having to declare a verdict in this way, this trial is over. Just like that. All the things we tried proving Valent is the dude who actually did the deed. So Zach, you're gonna do a disappearing act now, instead of going to prison. You have the right to find a new attorney and make an appeal. However, this court must... Ah! Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Zach. There is one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom, you cannot declare me guilty. That is impossible. I'm afraid the defendant is quite mistaken. I must certainly have the authority to declare a verdict on you. Except, tell me, how do you plan on announcing your verdict when your defendant does not exist? Huh? That doesn't exist. What are you talking about? I'm talking about this. I knew it. He fucking vanished. Mr. Enigmar? The defendant escaped. Find him, quick. Bailiff, close all exits from the building. On the double, he must not be allowed to escape. That day, in that courtroom, a miracle occurred. The defendant Shadi Enigmar, aka Zach Grammary, did not just escape from the court. He literally, unbelievably, vanished. Right before the bailiff's eyes. No one ever saw him again. Not since that day. This is the Grammary miracle. No verdict was declared. After all, the defendant didn't exist. That's how it happened. The trial of magician Zach Gramarate vanished along with him for all eternity. The mystery that remained behind were all solved, however, but not until 7 years later. Oh ho! And just in a nick of time, I'm looking at the timer, is turning up 3 hours.